Welcome back to Completing Football Manager 2024. My name is Anders, and this is Nation number 8. We're off to Iceland, as you will have been told by the thumbnail, and it's Valur who have approached us to become their new manager, and we're going to go forth and accept the deal. Obviously, if you are new to the series, go and check out the previous 7 or 8 videos. We have won in Hong Kong, in India, Indonesia, Malaysia, and then where else have we been? Northern Ireland, Gibraltar, Wales. I think that's the 7. Was it Malaysia or was it Singapore? I can't remember. It's been a long time we've been doing this save. But we're off to Iceland now. We're going to be at Valur in Iceland. They are sort of mid-table at the moment. We've got some transfers who are people leaving and joining in July. It's June. We've not been unemployed for very long. Literally 2 months. I don't want to bother with a press conference, but there we go. Here we are. It's Valur. Let's have a look at the club info page. We are predicted to finish 5th, and we're currently sitting 8th in the Besta Deildin, which is the Icelandic top division. Looking quickly, Pascal Grub, he is our best player, but he's also leaving for Fortuna Dusseldorf on the 1st of July. So he's not our best player anymore because he's going. He's a German right back, but we don't need to look at him anymore. Let's have a look at a hot prospect whilst we're here as well. We might as well. Defender, Oscar Gujon Benonson. No, he's okay. He's the 3rd best defender, but he's a hot prospect. Let's have a look at the squad. This is where we need to actually look. So ignore him. He's gone. Kjartan Oskarsson potentially might be our best player. We've also got Sean Murphy, who's American-Albanian, Eagle Arason, defensive midfielder, Raman Pakusan, another midfielder. Okay, the midfield's looking quite strong, so is the defence. I'm not sure, is this guy out-and-out striker or is he winger? Okay, he's a striker, so that's good. It's good we've got a striker. Alessio Norris, again, he's okay, good. Bit mix of youth and experience so far. Frank Etundi, Cameroonian international. Ghanaian here is Raman Pakusan. Let's have who's got the goals so far for us. Nobody. Oskarsson's got 6. Best performer, Egil Aransson, who is at 7.12. That's not too bad. And then Stefan Peterson, we'll go with that, is up there as well, but he's not on a contract at the moment, so we might need to look at that. Finance-wise, in the red, wonderful. Transfer budget of 100k. We ain't going to spend any of that. Wage budget, we are over it already by a big amount, so that probably means we're not going to bring many players in the summer transfer window. Obviously, Iceland runs on a calendar year basis, January to December, and it's already June, so we're halfway through pretty much. So consider this the halfway point of the season. It's interesting to note it's a 12-team league. So what happens in Iceland is they play for 22 games, play each other twice, and then there's a championship group where they play each other once more for 5 games. Similarly with a relegation group. Championship group determines who qualifies for Europe and who is champion. Relegation group who goes down to the 2nd tier. So it should hopefully be a lot quicker this season. There's also the Icelandic Cup, which I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce in its correct name. We're in that one. And then I'm guessing this is the League Cup. We're knocked out of that one already. So we should be able to breeze through the second half of the season quite quickly. Hopefully we are within touching. Yes, we are within touching distance of the top half. There's 3 points between us and 6th place. So that is our target, to get into the championship group and go from there. If we look at the competition history of domestic leagues, I'm not sure when we actually switched on the league in game and when it's just been view only or anything like that. So 5th, 3rd, 4th, 3rd. Okay, so the last run of game, we've been in the championship group for a lot of the last few seasons. So basically 7 or 8 years there in the championship group, so we need to continue doing that, get into the top half, battle our way through, and hopefully get some European places as well. We've had a fun in Europe in the past. If we quickly look at the nation qualification places for Iceland, where do Iceland sit 22nd? They get 1 in the Champions League, 1 in the Europa League, and 2 in the Conference League. We've not played in anything other than the Conference League so far. Obviously, we've qualified for the Champions League a few times, but we've never actually played there. That's kind of it, really. That's the situation. If we look through the schedule, what's the formation that's been played? We won our last game 3-0. Playing a 4-2-3-1, so we might bring Ballyball back to Iceland and have some frozen Ballyball. Maybe that will be the tactic. So they've won the last 2 games, well, one of them was the cup game, one in the league. Not really. Since I'm guessing they sacked their manager around about this time here. I can't remember when we applied for it, but since doing that, they've turned up. So they've won, 3 of the last 4 league games, only losing to KR, who are currently 4th. So I think we can quite easily turn this around. Who have we got in the next Scott fixtures? Stjarnan, who are 7th. That is a 6-pointer. And then IA, who are top, which will be tough. In fact, we've got a good, strong run of games here. Vikingur, Breda Blick. I'm going to have to try and remember how to pronounce Icelandic names now. And Leikner, which we should be beating them. So, first game is a winner one, then 3 tough ones, and then we get back into games we should be able to win. And hopefully that should take us through to the end of the season on a good run of form and get us into the championship group. So, that's the situation. That's last season. That's the situation we're in. We're not gonna. Obviously, we're already at halfway. We're not going to do any more recaps other than this one. We'll get to the end of the season, do an assessment of what the squad actually looks like, what formation we're playing, how our chances are for next season and going forward, and hopefully we can conquer Iceland and complete Iceland in a lot quicker time than we have done with Northern Ireland and Wales, because they were quite sluggish. Difficult, let's put it that way. Right, let's get to the end of season number 1 and have a proper look around our club, which is now Valur in Iceland. I really do love playing in Iceland. This has been a great start to our time here. And obviously the second half of the season we've come in at the halfway point, and we've done really well. We've taken the side from battling for relegation to finishing a comfortable 3rd. So, easy. What were they playing at before I joined? Because this side's actually really good. If we look through the schedule and we can have a look, I can't even remember when it was I joined. Was it sort of, I want to say, where was it? Somewhere around here? Maybe? I can't remember. I can't even remember. It's that long ago. I think Fram might have been the first game. It's been a while. And then we lost, and then we've basically gone on a good run. Essentially, a couple of defeats against some good sides. So IA, who basically won the league. So, can't really fault losing to them. Vikingur finished 2nd. Again, dominant, level on points with IA. And then as we got into the championship group, we've kind of breezed through here. 6-0 victory against Fram being a particular highlight. In fact, the guy I was going to mention didn't actually score in that game. He scored a lot of other games though. In fact, my view here has disappeared. If we look at my custom view, bring that one back because he goal scorers here. That's what I want to see. The guy I was going to mention is Kjartan Óskarsson. I think I briefly mentioned him earlier. But he has basically just come alive. 22 games from 25 starts. And if you go back to when we started, I don't think he was anywhere near that many. Game here, this is one I was thinking of actually, KR, not Fram. So if we go back to the KR game, where's that one? If we go here, that was the game after. It was the game after. We won 5-1, basically, away from home. Óskarsson got 4 in the last half an hour to completely turn the game on its head. And that kind of summed up his season. He's just scored. Goal machine throughout the last run. Another 3 goals here. Basically, there's his 4 goals against KR. He scored in all the last games of the season in the championship group. And it was that championship group. Obviously, we lost to IA, drew with Breda Blick. But then we managed to even beat Vikingur and then Leikner on the last day to get 3rd comfortably. 4 points ahead of 4th place, 12 back from the top, but I don't think when we started we were more than 12 points behind top place. So I think basically if I'd been in charge the whole season, we'd have won, which is really good. Competitions wise, we were already out of this one. This is the pre-season League Cup kind of competition, and got to the quarterfinals of the Icelandic Cup, which was won by IA, so they did the double. But a very, very comfortable 3rd place in the end. Great goal difference. I think we got a message saying it was the most goals scored in a season for the club. Óskarsson getting the record for most league goals as well. So if we quickly look here, he's dominated that one, 22. 7 more than the next highest goal scorer. And even up there on 5 player of the matches as well, winning that one. Essentially, we've turned into a really good season. We've got plenty of players leaving, or potentially leaving. Their contracts are up at the end of the season, so I've got to do a bit of negotiating to try and get some of our best players to stay, particularly Oskarsson, who is currently wanted by league winners IA, who are make an offer whilst the window's shut, and the window doesn't open again until February. So I've got until the end of the month, the end of October, so we're at the 6th of October now, the end of October to try and get all these guys re-signed, the ones I want to re-sign, particularly these two, well, three, and Frank Atudi as well. Basically quite a lot of players I want to get re-signed. We've got until the end of October to do that, then we've got essentially the whole winter to try and turn things around. Now, looking at the schedule and when the league starts, so the league starts in April, but there is that pre-season League Cup. But because the transfer window doesn't open, and we're obviously looking at the season that's just happened, not next season, but the transfer window doesn't open until sort of halfway through the group stage. So what I'm going to do is play that whole League Cup and start the next part of the video at the beginning of the league season, just to kind of get a view of what's happened. Because if we join at the beginning of the League Cup, none of my transfers will have come in, and we kind of just be in the same position we are now. So not the most straightforward way of viewing things. But there we go. First half season in charge has been really good. This guy, obviously, the highlight. He's definitely our star player, and hopefully long may that continue. But we are well on our way to completing Iceland already, and we've only been here sort of 4 months. Right, let's go through the long pre-season, and we'll join you back in 6 months' time in April. And that's what seasons are like in Iceland. Whatever happens, it will take half the time of Northern Ireland, because that was a slog of a season. But the seasons are now up to 27 games. Last time I managed in Iceland, they didn't have the groups at the end. It was literally just 22 games for the top flight. Right, but that's not the case anymore. We'll go and do pre-season and have a look at our chances for the first full season in charge at Valur. Pre-season has finished, and we are ready to start things out. Right, we'll have a quick look at the cup competition that we've been in. We got knocked out in the semi-finals, 3-2 against reigning champions IA. Ibrahima Sissoko, who joined us at the end of he was one of the free transfers, not the free transfers. He's one of the transfers already pre-arranged when I joined the club, is what I'm trying to say. He got 2 second-half goals, but we couldn't quite get back the 3 we were down at half-time. That was after winning our group. I think it was Group D. Yeah, it was. So 4 wins and a draw in our group. We drew with Affelringding, this guy here, who are from the tier below. But never mind, we won our group anyway, so that's fine. Transfers-wise, this is the important bit. Right, so I mentioned, which I think I forgot to cover when I did the end of last season video. Sissoko came in. He's a right winger. He came in from Diambars, I believe, from Senegal. He did quite well last season, 12 appearances, 2 goals. But yeah, he's already well and truly in our squad. He's joined, and then on the 1st of July as well, Rajman Vicario, who then left us again after 6 months. So, excellent. We don't care about him. He's gone. Right, the transfers we do care about, the ones that I brought in myself, 5 of which came when the window opened, and then 2 more came during March to kind of spread the depth a little bit more in defence. First up, we've got David Harutyunyan, who is Armenian, 20-year-old midfielder. Already got 35 caps for his country as well. Really adding that depth in the midfield. He can play both central midfield and attacking midfield. Obviously, we're still playing the 4-2-3-1 formation that we had at Ballymena, but he joins. He's not quite our best midfielder, but he's in there and got great depth and can play in both positions. Speaking of adding depth, Selvin Tercios is a wing-back, can play defensive midfielder and attacking midfielder as well, not as convincingly. But he's come in again to provide that depth. It says star player, but I think given the other transfers we made, he's definitely not going to be a star player, and he's potentially not even going to be a starting left-back. He's just going to provide cover down that whole left side. Speaking of cover, I guess, this guy isn't... No, that was a terrible segue. A new defender we've got in from KR, Arne Freya Hafstein. Again, decent. Again, 13 tackling, 12 heading, 11 marking, all in the round area. But the thing that jumps out is his 17, literally, is his 17 jumping reach. So that's going to help him in defence and be a threat from corners as well. The star signing, though, is new goalkeeper Kamal Zouani, Algerian, 27-year-old, comes from some side in Algeria, I'm guessing, JS Kabylie. But anyway, he looks rather handy and is a much better goalkeeper than our previous goalkeeper, who was Sebastian Hoffmann. You can see here on the polygon, looking much better in the areas you'd want him to be. He's a little bit slower, slightly worse communication, but generally speaking, everything else massively better. So he joins us. We've also got a bit of an Irish flair, as we've got Dean Clark joining us from St Pat's. He comes in on the left and will probably be our starting left winger. And then we've got Bjorn Svarvarvarsson, again, defensive cover. We've got a lot of we've not got much depth in defence, is what I'm trying to get out. So we've signed him on a free transfer. He used to be at Vikingur as well. And similarly, Adelstein Andrason has joined as more defensive depth and cover. I think Norris and Hafstein are probably the best two. Svarvarsson's also up there. Basically, we've got a lot of not too bad defenders, but no standout first choice, excellent best defenders we've got. But that's the squad we've amassed. Oscarson is still expected to be piling in the goals. We've not played him much in the cup competitions because we don't need to. It's just that cup competition is just there for pre-season, I guess. It was Sissoko who got the 3 goals from his 6 starts, and 4 for Hakor Laffer Anderson, who's from the midfield. A couple of decent players coming through the youth ranks as well. So we've got a 16-year-old here who's made his break into the first side. Daniel Dagger Axelsson. It's also interesting to note that we share a youth team with another club, so it's a bit different, but you know, we'll get there. Anyway, that's the side we've amassed. If we look at the league prediction, ignore the fact a game has been played elsewhere. We're predicted to finish 3rd again, which is kind of fair, but I'm definitely feeling like we've got the chance to win the league here. With how we came and performed in the second half of last season, if we do that again, we can definitely take the title. Vikingur and IA, the top 2 sides, but Valur are definitely going to be coming up. And obviously we've got the Conference League, which will start in July or whenever it starts, so midpoint of the season. But that's kind of probably where we're going to come back, to be honest. Halfway point, which will be about 13, 14 games, I think sticks us at the end of June, so I might come back before the second IA clash in the regular season and see how we're getting on there. See if I don't think we will have had our Conference League draw by that point, but we'll do that. We'll come back midway, as we have done, and then we'll come back at the end of the season, and hopefully we'll have completed Iceland at the first time of asking. But you'll be able to tell from the length of this video. If it's about 15 to 20 minutes, it's gone nice and quick. Okay, so just over halfway through season number 1, and things are sitting pretty as predicted. Full season in charge means all good things. We are top of the table, 4 points ahead of IA, who have got a game in hand, but they have just lost one of their other games in hand to Breidablik. So we are now clear if they win their last game in hand. And we've also got them again in 2 games' time. So it could all be looking very, very good for our title challenges as we get towards the end of the season. But we'll need to just go through what we've got already done so far. We have, as we came in at the beginning of the season, gone on a good run. We drew with IA in the first time we met them at their place. Pretty fair result. They were slightly better, but couldn't get the job done. We did go through some stints of winning a couple of games 4-1 here against KA and Leitner. We also beat Vikingur 1-0. With who would you expect to get a goal there? It was Oscarson getting the single goal in that game. Obviously, they finished second but level on points with IA last season. And it was a simple, from a corner, didn't get the ball away. Easy little finish there. Sort of a jumping karate kick style goal. And then they got a man sent off towards the end of the game. But that was enough to get the victory there. Let's have another quick look at the league table as well before we go through some more games. So yeah, that's the teams that are in and around us. KR also up there just about hanging on. Nobody else really threatening us in the slightest. Our last result, we'll have a look at the goals at that one as well. You can see Oscarson getting a brace within 2 minutes as well to put the game beyond any doubt whatsoever. But here we go then. This is the latest game against Leitner. They started out pretty poorly with that own goal from Juric. Wow. Then we made the 2-0 scoreline with a penalty as well. Andresen, but before half-time, they got a goal back. Juric trying to redeem himself by being involved in this one and scoring from range, getting a goal in both nets. But second half came, and here you can see 77th minute, Oscarsson breaks through the line. Lovely first-time effort to get his first, and then quickly back from the kickoff. Once again, we got the ball back. Our Armenian guy, then to our Irish guy. Ball into the middle. Oscarsson there once again. He's now the highest league goal scorer in the club's history. And then a sixth goal of the game is a consolation one from Leknir in the end. But that kind of put us 4 points clear, because then IA didn't win their game in hand. Season is looking pretty good. We are much better defensively than we were last season. Still only conceding 12 goals. Not quite on the same level as the two teams behind us, but we've won, basically, when it matters. 35 points so far at the halfway point. If we keep this up, we should be on for 60s, definitely, which is enough to have won the league. This doesn't really help because it kind of splits things up. But the championship group, there you go, 60, 64. 53 won it one year. 68, that's probably where we're looking, unless we have a bit of a fall off. But we need to be in the 60s. To basically have any chance of winning the league. And so far, we've definitely got a good chance of winning the league. Cup competition-wise, we're about out of both cups. We're already out, obviously, of the League Cup at the beginning of the season. Lost in the fourth round to Fjolnir. We don't really care about that. I think it's board expect us to be quarterfinals, but it doesn't really matter. So let's move on. And we've been drawn against Shelbourne in the Conference League. So our second qualifying round of the Conference League is against Irish opposition. Obviously, we need to still go to Ireland, which will be one of our next two leagues after we've completed Iceland. We've got Latvia and Ireland to go in this batch of nations. But yeah, we've got Shelbourne up in basically 2 weeks' time in the second qualifying round, first leg. But we've well on our way of winning the Irish title. Oscarsson has already got 17 league goals. 22 was the highest in history. And that was last season. And then he's now got, 13 games. He's made appearances in every single league game so far. Started all 14 of them. Scored 17 goals. So he is well on his way to absolutely smashing that record of 22. You can see on the stats here, 7 clear of the nearest rival. He and Sissoko are topping the player of the match charts as well, and the average rating charts. Basically, we're having a cracking season, and I'll be shocked if we don't win the league. Now I've said that, we will probably not win the league. So there we go. I've jinxed us already. It is transfer window time, and I'm planning to do absolutely nothing because my squad is full. We've already got every... If we where do we go to? Hang on. Have I picked the right squad registration? Can I do that on this page? I don't know. There. Registration. So this is for the league. We are already at 23 of 25 players. I don't suspect I'll need to do anything, but potentially a couple of more depth introductions, maybe. We've got plenty of depth already. I'm not sure we'll need to do anything. I'm not planning on doing anything unless someone leaves or gets really injured. We'll be okay. Speaking of injured, Kamal Zouani has just missed the last 3 games through injury. He's now back, and we've not really been blighted at all by his departure. So he missed the last 4 games. One of those was a cup game, obviously, but we've managed to survive, so that's fine. Second half of the season hopefully will go the same way as the first, and we'll be out of Iceland after just 15 months. So fingers crossed. I always love playing in Iceland and, Sweden, hence why my manager has a Swedish alter ego. But there we go. Iceland is just as much fun. Would recommend quick seasons, long pre-season. There we go. Right, let's go. Second half of the season. We've got the Conference League as well, and hopefully a title challenge. We're going to try something different for the end of season review. I'm going to show you the highlights from our clash with title rivals IA on the 25th game of the season, out of 27 that is. And as you can see, we went down 2-0 in the first half. And ignore the score at the top. That will get rid of the suspense. We brawled one back with a Tercios header, and then a double inside 2 minutes here. So Thorsteinsson onto Oscarsson. Not quite clear. Danger still there. Oscarsson turns, shoots. Top corner. 2-2. Then, up the other end, Oscarsson involved once again. Sent it out wide to Peterson, who put the ball back into the box. Back post. And it's Molina there to make it 3. And at the death, the 95th minute, 96th, I think, by the time the ball goes in the back of the net. Ball to the back post. Sissoko there with his header. No, it was 95th minute. To make it 4-2. And that clinched us the Icelandic title at the first proper full season attempt. 4-2 on the day to beat IA. We then got, we lost the next game, but we won the final day 5-1 against Breidablik, and that gave us the Icelandic title by a comfortable 7 points, and it was an incredibly good season, but not for IA, who eventually slipped down to third. And I just want to show you something in terms of their run-in towards the championship group. If you ignore all of the Europa League matches and everything down here, they had 3 draws in the final 3 games of the regular season, and that basically gave us enough of a buffer that when we beat them in the championship group, it was enough to give us the title. Vikingur came on strong towards the end of the season as well, but it was not enough to stop us. Right, how did our season actually get to that point? Now, I believe the halfway point recap we just lost in the cup against Fjolnir. We then continued our usual winning ways in the league. We beat Leknir, HK, drew again with IA for the second time this season, a 0-0 draw in a tough, important game. We then dropped points to Vikingur 2-1. They were the better side. It was at our stadium at the end of July, but they basically came through and won with a late winner. That was a little bit of a stumbling block. Drew with Breidablik, continued winning, and then when we got into the championship group, obviously we finished the season here with a 5-0 victory as IA stumbled across the line with 3 consecutive draws, and then we got through and won easily in the end, 7 points. We only dropped 1 game in the championship group, and that was after we'd already been clinched the title. We managed to beat Vikingur 2-0, Oskarsson getting another. We'll have a look at him in a second. And also stop the count of the Conference League. We are top. We played 1 game. We are top of the Conference League. Won that 5-0 against VPS from Finland. But there we go. We are top of the Conference League. And as far as I'm concerned, as I'm about to leave Valur, we've won the Conference League. So best side in Europe is clearly not true. Right, let's have a look at the competitions as they are. So we've won the league. I've mentioned that. Out in both cups. That was already happened. That's fine. Winning the Conference League as we leave, which is great. So there's not much more to say on the competition front side of things. In terms of goals, Oskarsson got 27 in 31 starts, which is just a phenomenal return. Average rating of 7.29 as well. I think that wasn't even the best. No, so Sissoko tipped the top of the charts there with 7.36. So basically what you need to do in Iceland is get a really good striker who scores loads of goals, and everything else will kind of fall into place. Obviously, the rest of our attacking line was really good as well, but those 27 goals made the difference. So if you look at the league and go through to the profile of the league, look, 25 league goals. The next highest was 19. To be fair, that's pretty impressive as well, 19 in 27 goals, but 25 in 27 league goals is phenomenal. 7.4 rating in the league. That is what you need to conquer a competitive short season like in Iceland. Basically, get someone who scores goals, or let someone fall into your lap who scores goals. Obviously, I didn't even sign him. He was just part of the club when I joined. But that's it. That's Iceland done. Oskarsson, we probably won't be taking him with us anywhere because he's worth over £1 million now, which is just great because he's just been lighting things up. Got a goal in the Conference League as well. Congratulations to him. Obviously, we are winning the Conference League. Regardless of what happens after I leave, we've won the Conference League in my mind. But that's the end of Iceland. It's gone quick. There's nothing like playing in Iceland to rejuvenate you. Not even 18 months, I don't think. I think we joined in June, so it's 15 months in the job, and we're already done. We're off elsewhere. I mean, not sure where else we are off to. I've somehow managed to put my home down at the bottom. We'll put that back to the top. If we look at available jobs, we need to sort of filter this, as we already have done for Ireland and Latvia. There's no jobs currently available. Obviously, their seasons are just finishing. Again, we'll do the same sort of filter here for just Ireland and Latvia, and then we want to probably just do the Versliga and the top flight in Ireland, the Premier Division. There's a couple of jobs that are insecure. Both, I mean, I think Bray Wanderers are getting relegated. Yep, so we don't want to be them. They've had a terrible season. Specs are very close to relegation. I think they're going to survive there because I think it's 36 games you play in Latvia. So I think they might be just about safe. And then there's a whole host of other teams here. Shelbourne, who we faced in the Conference League. Shamrock, there. Well, that's stable. I thought I said unsecure them for a second. insecure rather. But that's one of the clubs. Next season we'll be at one of these clubs, whoever it is. Probably not, the likes of Auda and St. Pat's, because they've just won their respective leagues or are about to win their respective leagues. But we shall see. Shelbourne is who we faced in the Conference Leagues I mentioned, and they may be someone we face next season in Ireland if we head to Ireland. I've got no preference, so either one. We've obviously spent a lot of time in Northern Ireland, so if we go to the Republic, that's the situation of the league currently. St. Pat's have won it. There's a bit of a battle for so maybe UCD or Shelbourne, whoever doesn't get that final European place, they could be in line for a new manager. We shall see. But that's Ireland. What about Latvia? As we quickly look here, again, there's a battle around that final European place. Maybe BFC or RFS get rid of their manager if one of them doesn't get the European place. Not really sure. I've got no preference. We shall see how we get on. But winners of the Conference League, winners of... in fact, actually, no. I need to do something. I checked something last night before saving. Ivan Carvalho, who I sold from Terengganu for our record 110,000. I forgot, he went to Valur. He had 180 games in the league for Valur. And then, not long after he retired, I came to Valur. If I'd come just a couple of years earlier, we would have had a reunion, and that would have been great. He doesn't look like he's done anywhere near as good elsewhere as he did at Terengganu. 27 and 37 for us there. Pretty impressive. He was top goal scorer one season. But yeah, went to Valur and didn't score as many goals. Had a couple of seasons on loan in Brazil. But there we go. I thought I'd just mention that before I forgot. That it's obviously someone who, from a previous episode, you'll have noticed, came to this club, and then I did as well. Right, we're going to resign. And immediate effect. Sorry, Valur, we're off. It's been fun. It's been a fun 15 months in Iceland. But we are done. Right, doesn't mean you're done though. There's plenty of videos you can watch. Obviously, if you've enjoyed this, remember to like, subscribe, check out all of the videos in this series if you haven't already, and if you have, watch them again. Why not? It's great. There's nothing like a quick season and a half in Iceland to rejuvenate you. I'm feeling much more pumped up for this save now after spending a decade, or how it wasn't a decade, it was like 4 seasons in Northern Ireland. It was a bit of a slog, but this one was a breeze, and we have won it straight away. 71% win record, and we're done. Iceland, thank you very much. Off to the next nation here on Completing Football Manager, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.